welcome to Pelicans Flock Report, where I give you everything New Orleans Pelicans from a fan's perspective. I'm your host, D. Broussard. Man, before I get started, make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. Shout out to everybody that's already subscribed, man. I really appreciate y'all out there, man. As long as y'all keep subscribing, I'm going to keep recording. So shout out to everybody that's already subscribed, man. Um, Today, as we know, we're currently on the All-Star break right now. So I kind of just wanted to talk about the first half of the season and just kind of where we at so far. Um, Tonight, last night, I'm sorry, I watched the Rising Stars game last night, which Derek Queen and Jeremiah Fears both were part of that. Jeremiah Fears had a pretty good showing. Derek Queen kind of struggled a little bit, but Jeremiah kind of did his thing last night. So I've been watching all the All-Star festivities and stuff like that. As I said, I'm a huge NBA fan, huge basketball fan. So, anytime basketball is on the television, most definitely I'm watching. So, yeah, and I'll be tuned in tonight as well. Slam dunk contest, 3-point competition, um, and the skills challenge. Um, I did kind of feel like Trey Murphy should have been in that 3-point contest, though. I ain't gonna lie. I really do. Yeah. So, um, today, man, I just kind of want to touch on a few things, man. Obviously, as we know, the great Chris Paul decided to retire yesterday after being waived from the Toronto Raptors. Um, Now, as we all know, as Pelicans fans, Chris Paul was a huge, huge part of the success of this franchise, especially in the beginning of the franchise. And a lot of people has kind of been talking, man. A lot of people been saying, we don't need to retire Chris Paul jersey. We do need to retire Chris Paul jersey. Um, Me myself personally, man, I think Chris Paul deserves to have his jersey retired as a New Orleans Pelican. What that man done for the franchise, you know, in the beginning stages, putting it on the map, being our best player, a lot of his accomplishments uh, during his career came from being in New Orleans, and obviously, Katrina and things like that came about, and then the team ended up moving to Oklahoma City, and a lot of things went on. It was a kind of like a bad breakup between CP and the organization, but overall, man, I feel like the Pelicans definitely need to retire Chris Paul jersey. That's just from my perspective. I feel like that man done a lot for this franchise. Um, we made the playoffs a few times. CP, to me, I think he had um I wouldn't say the best years of his career, but I would say a part of it. I think, a part of Chris Paul's best years were in the New Orleans Hornets at the time uniform. Now I know, he did his thing, in LA with the Clippers and Live City and things of that nature, but Chris Paul really done a lot for this franchise, man. So I definitely feel like New Orleans definitely need to have a retirement ceremony for Chris Paul and retire his jersey. The man is definitely going into the Hall of Fame, and I think I would love to see his jersey in the Raptors at the Smoothie King Center. So, just my perspective. I know some people say we don't need to. The hell with Chris Paul, he left, whatever. But I mean, it's a lot of things that could have been done differently in that Chris Paul situation. Obviously, some people say that the NBA played a part in that decision, moving Chris Paul. That's kind of like a conspiracy theory. Um, I don't really know that for sure, but in my opinion, man, Chris Paul, was the first superstar that we actually had. Um, that was a part of this franchise. And I feel like the things that he accomplished in his career, you know, his assists, scoring, everything that CP did, man, I feel like he done a lot of that in the New Orleans Hornets uniform, and his number should definitely be in the rafters in New Orleans, man. come on, man. Like people that saying he shouldn't. Nah, it's okay to be bitter because he left. You know, guys leave, man. That's just what happens. But overall, man, the man contributed a whole lot to the organization, and yeah, man, he deserved that, man. Come on, man. Yeah. So, also, man, I read a article today, in Sports Illustrated, entitled "Four Things to Take Away from the Pelicans' Disgusting Season." As you all know, we're currently right now last in the West. It's All-Star break. We've dealt with injuries, coach firings, um, trading away draft picks. It's just been an up and down season for us, man. And we were definitely hoping for the best. We were hoping to have a much better season this year, especially with the talent that we have on this roster. But that just hasn't been the case. We're currently last in the West, going into the All-Star break. Um, but I can ultimately say that we definitely have some things to look forward to going into the future. And that was kind of like what the article kind of spoke about, just things that we have to look forward to going into the future. And I'm the type of person, man, I'm always going to remain positive. I'm never going to bash the organization or, say, you know, we'll never be good or like, nah, man. I do feel like we're headed in the right direction. And that's just my perspective. Some people might feel different, but I feel like we're headed in the right direction. With the pieces that we have right now, I feel like those pieces are pieces that we can build off of. And one of those pieces, Derek Queen. Derek Queen has had a stellar rookie season. Obviously, last night, he played in the Rising Stars Challenge. And, Derek Queen has had a really good season for us. Now, it's always going to be that question mark. Was Derek Queen worth trading away our pick in this year's draft? I've said it before. This draft right here is going to be very loaded with talent. And, it could have turned out being a number one overall pick, top five. Um, but we traded away that pick to the Hawks, and we brought in Derek Queen, and I feel like Derek Queen has had a stellar season this year, man. I feel like it's something to definitely build off of. I feel like at some point Derek Queen is definitely going to be an all-star, um, a superstar, and I feel confident with Derek Queen going into the future. That's just me. Some people might feel different, but I feel like Derek Queen is definitely something that we can build this team around, and um, it definitely gives us a chance to compete going into the future. Most definitely. Um, Jeremiah Fears. Jeremiah Fears also played last night in the Rising Stars Challenge, in which I said earlier he had a pretty good showing. Jeremiah Fears has been a good pickup as well. Jeremiah Fears, he started the season out, in the starting lineup, ended up kind of moving to the bench once Herb came back and everything like that. And I'm pretty sure he'll still be coming off the bench once DeJounte Murray returns, because I'm sure DeJounte Murray should be back um, after the All-Star break. Um, I'm assuming. He may be out a little longer, but I think DeJounte should be ready to go after the All-Star break. So Jeremiah will be probably coming off the bench. But overall, man, I feel like Jeremiah Fears has really shown a lot of promise. I feel like he's another guy that's gonna be, a future All-Star. He as he continues to get better, continue to work on his shot, his playmaking ability. Um, he's already good going downhill, getting to the rim and things of that nature. But I feel like, he'll get better. It's just his rookie season. It's his first season. So, he's still learning. He's still developing. He's still a kid. So, you know, over time, I feel like Jeremiah get better. Um, I said this before. My only question mark about Jeremiah is his true position. Is he really a point guard, or is Jeremiah Fears better playing off the ball? In my opinion, I feel like Jeremiah Fears is better playing off the ball because it gives him the opportunity to do what he does, which is um, shot create. Um, he can make wide open shots. Um, to me, I think Jeremiah Fears is better at playing the two. That's just me. You know, some people think he's good playing the point guard. But that's kind of been the question mark with me and Jeremiah Fears is his positioning. You know, what's his positioning? And so far, it's the point guard. So, we'll see. But I feel like if he plays the point guard, he's definitely gonna have to get better with passing the basketball and decision making and things of that nature. And actually learning how to control the tempo and play the point guard. I feel like that's kind of where Jeremiah has struggled here recently in the first half of the season. But overall, I feel like Jeremiah is going to be a future All Star. That's just my opinion, most definitely. Um, Another thing, Zion Williamson. Zion Williamson has had a heck of a season thus far. He's been in shape. He's been available. He's been playing back to backs. He's been, basically doing everything that he was supposed to do over the years. This year, he's been showing it. Now, I did read in that Sports Illustrated article that Zion has increased his trade value. I myself, I've said it before, I don't really think that the Pelicans should try to trade Zion. I feel like Zion is still the centerpiece of this team. And I just feel like if you trade away Zion, um, you can't replace what Zion brings talent wise. Because I still feel like Zion is a generational talent. You know, I just think that when you look at his skill set, the speed, the power, the ability to finish around the rim using both hands, and he's been showing that he's been working on developing a little mid-range jump shot. And if he can extend his range, shooting, being able to hit the three, I think that makes Zion a lot better. And it makes him even harder to guard. So I myself, I don't think that we should trade Zion. I've said it before. I feel like Zion should be here in a Pelicans uniform. Um, you know, Obviously, we've went through a lot with Zion not being available, not being healthy, things of that nature. But I feel like Zion is on the right path right now, and I I I, I think as long as he continue to do what he's doing right now, I think we'll be okay. Definitely. Trey Murphy. I read in an article that Trey Murphy has been showing that he's a potential All-Star, future All-Star. Um, and I think so. I think this was kind of the reason why the Pelicans decided to move on from Brandon Ingram. Now, I'm gonna be honest, I do kind of miss Bi. I really like Bi's game. Um, just his ability to get to his spots and shoot the basketball, and Bi was so shifty and crafty and things of that nature. I definitely miss Bi, but I think that was the reason why the Pelicans decided to move on from Bi, because the emergence of Trey Murphy. And so far, Trey Murphy has shown that he's continuing to get better. He's continuing to work on his consistency, work on his playmaking ability. Um, you know, um, and just continue to get better, man. I feel like Trey is continuing to get better, get better. And um, he's been injured and things of that nature, but so far, I mean, Trey's had a stellar season this year, man. And I really felt like he should have been an all-star this year, to be honest. Or maybe, like I said earlier, you know, participate in the three-point contest. Because we all know Trey is a good three-point shooter. So, but overall, man, good showing for Trey Murphy, man. I like what I see, and I know that he's gonna continue to develop and get better. So I feel like we definitely have a future all-star, future superstar with Trey Murphy, man. Most definitely. Now Trey did get injured in the last game against Miami. Um, they were calling it shoulder strain. Not really sure what's his status right now and what he's looking like as far as coming back. Hopefully it's not severe and he'll be back on the court for us on February 20th against the Milwaukee Bucks, because we'll definitely need him, because I'm sure Giannis will be back playing for the Bucks um, after the All-Star break. So yeah, but Yeah, man, I'm liking what I'm seeing for Trey Murphy this year, man. Trey Murphy has played really, really well, and I just, want him to continue to grow, continue to develop, and continue to get better. At times Trey kind of struggles on defense, so I definitely feel like he'll have to become a better defender over time because we need defense to win. But if he continues to get better on defense and playing the way he's been playing, I think we'll be okay. Trey's had some big games this season. 44-point performance. Um, you know, Trey's had some big games this season, man. Most definitely. Another guy, man, Sadiq Bey. I've been talking about Sadiq Bey a lot throughout these last episodes, and I'm a huge Sadiq Bey fan. Um, I just like the guy, man. I just love his toughness. Um, on offense, defense, his ability to knock down the three, his ability to post up and get to the rim, be physical. I love Sadiq Bey, man. I love his game. I like everything about him, man. He's just been a huge part of what we got going on right now. I'm sorry, Sadiq has also, excuse me, been having some big games as well. He had 36 points, 31 points, So Sadiq has been playing really well for us this season. And I've said it before, I really feel like we have to find a way to extend Sadiq Bey and get him to be here long term for us because I feel like he's gonna be a huge part of um what we're trying to do here, and that's build a winner. So, shout out to Sadiq Bey, man. I really feel like Sadiq has had a hell of a first half of the season, and I hope he continues because we definitely need him. And besides Sadiq Bey, man, I know the Jordan Poole situation has came up multiple times. Um, will we trade Jordan Poole? Well, we didn't trade Jordan Poole before the trade deadline, so we still stuck with him and his contract. Jordan hasn't been playing. He's been um, on the coach's DNP list, and you know, I feel like um, Jordan Poole. I feel like he's a good player, but I feel like his play in the first half of the season kind of got him in the situation that he's in right now. We've seen Jordan take wild, crazy 3-point shots. The intensity is not there at times. The mental focus is not there at times. And I feel like overall it was kind of a good decision by James Borrego, even though we lacked 3-point shooting that time, and Jordan is a good 3-point shooter. But I think it's just the effort that Jordan has been given in the beginning of the first half of the season. I'm sorry, and it hasn't been good, man. So the Jordan Poole experiment just hasn't worked out. Now we didn't trade Jordan. Jordan is scheduled to make like 31 million this season, and he's not playing. So I feel like we kind of overpaid for Jordan. Um, but I gotta tip my hat off to Jordan Poole because I feel like Jordan Poole handled the situation very professional. Some people may say, "Oh, well, he not tripping because he's still gonna get paid regardless," which that is true. But I feel like the way he's handled the situation, I gotta tip my hat off to him handling this situation in a professional manner. You've never heard Jordan coming out um, in the media, you know, saying anything bad, speaking down on the team, nothing. This guy has been, dressed out every game on the bench, cheering the team on, high fiving guys, um, practicing with the team. And I feel like Jordan has been a real, real good professional these last couple months. And it hasn't worked out, but he's still here. What can we do about the Jordan Poole situation? I really don't know. Um, I know that we probably won't buy him out of his contract. Uh, I do kind of feel like Jordan may be a trade asset for us during the offseason. Um, I don't know what we would get back for him. Um, Maybe we can try to work out a draft day trade to where we can you know, get some more picks in this year's draft. I really don't know right now with the Jordan Poole situation, man. I just know that it hasn't worked out, and um, you know, it's definitely something that we're gonna have to figure out going forward because I mean, this guy is making too much money to be sitting at the end of the bench, in my opinion. But hey, I'm not the GM. I'm not the president of basketball operations. I don't own the franchise, so whatever they want to pay him, hey, you know, it's their money, not mine. But I just know I wouldn't have a guy sitting at the end of the bench if he's making 31 million this year, man. I just wouldn't. I'm sorry. But yeah, man. Um, that pretty much covered, all the things I kind of want to speak about today, man. Just kind of want to do a quick assessment on the team, man, in the first half of the season, give my opinion on things, um, what I think we need to do going forward. And I definitely feel like we have a good team, man. Talent wise, I've already said this. DeJounte Murray is coming back. Uh, Herb Jones is back. Trey is still question mark because of the injury in the last game, but Zion has been playing well. Jeremiah Fears, Derek Queen has been playing well. Michael Peavy has been playing well. Eve Misi. I definitely feel like talent wise, man, we have a lot of potential, man. It's just gonna all be about us putting it together, building chemistry, playing together, and just doing everything that we need to do to win on the basketball court. But talent wise, I definitely feel like the talent is there. Most definitely. Um, Now, like I said, obviously it's going into the second half of the season, the record is not good. I doubt if we make the play in, but I do feel like the Pelicans do need to continue playing to win, not tank. Continue playing to win with everybody on the floor so guys can build chemistry, guys can get better, and we can definitely see what we have going forward as we look into the future with this team. That's just my opinion. Um, Next up, February 20th will be our next game against the Milwaukee Bucks. This one I think will be in Milwaukee. Um, so, I'm sure Giannis will be back, as I said before. So hopefully we can get DeJounte Murray back, man, Trey back, and we have a full healthy squad so we can take on the Milwaukee Bucks. And I think this is also going to be a back-to-back. I think we have the Philadelphia 76ers in that next game. So um, that'll definitely be a tough 2 games for us, man. Two good teams in the Eastern Conference going into the playoffs. They definitely going to be trying to make a playoff run, Philly and Milwaukee. Milwaukee has been playing pretty good. I watched them the other night against um, the Oklahoma City Thunder. And they played really well, man, even without Giannis. So Milwaukee definitely starting to look good, and they looking like they getting ready to try to make a playoff push, man. And once Giannis come back, I think they may be able to do it with the way they've been playing here lately. So we definitely gonna have to bring it on February 20th, and um, hopefully, man, we get the dub. So yeah, man, that's it for me. Make sure you like and subscribe to the channel, Pelicans Flock Report, where I give you everything New Orleans Pelicans from a fan's perspective. I'm your host, D. Broussard. Shout out to everybody that's already subscribed, man. I'll be back with you guys once the season starts up again. I am going to be watching All-Star Weekend, watching the three-point contest, dunk contest tonight, skills challenge, everything. Most likely gonna watch the All-Star game as well with this new format and everything. Just kind of curious to see how this works out and play out. So yeah, man, that's all I got. I'm out. Like and subscribe to the channel, man. Pelicans Flock Report after each and every game. You don't want to miss it. I'm out.